But then the playoffs start and they're a different team. So I just don't understand them because everything I watched with the Pacers they were bums. And they've been the most impressive playoff team there's been so far. So I'm confused.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Wind Up Wednesday edition, NBA Conference Finals preview. We actually delayed the taping so we could see Game 7 to make sure it's right. With me today, our Oklahoma City correspondent and favorite team leader, Mike King. Mike, how you doing, man?
I was a little nervous after Game 6, but I'm doing very well because I'm looking at the four teams remaining, and one seems a little bit better than the others, but we will see.
All right. In segment one, we will break down the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. In segment two, we will stop you whining about the NBA lottery. The answer to most questions is get better or do better, and tanking is the scourge of life. And in segment three, we're in WNBA season, so we'll talk about it in more detail. But first, Mike, we're going to go to the Eastern Conference first to maximize our time with the West. Indiana taking on the New York Knickerbockers. Go in any direction you like. What are you thinking, sir?
So this is like two teams that towards the end of the season, especially Indiana. I just every time I decided to strictly for entertainment purposes only pay attention to a Pacers game, it backfired because they couldn't beat the Cavs a bunch of times when the Cavs were missing all their players and they couldn't beat. But then the playoffs start and they're a different team. So I just don't understand them because everything I watched with the Pacers they were bums. And they've been the most impressive playoff team there's been so far. So I'm confused. They've got me perplexed. The Knicks,
Uh-huh.
it's the same team that lost every big game in the regular season. Couldn't beat anybody in the regular season that mattered. But they just beat the Celtics. But the Celtics, here's the secret that the Celtics in the regular season they were very good. They weren't great. They weren't the Celtics team of last year. It's still a shock that they won. I mean, we were on the podcast before the series started saying maybe they win a game if they shoot bad. They did shoot bad a lot though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a NCAA 12 versus 13 matchup. It's just a shock. It's exciting to see, especially as a fan of Thunder, to see two teams that aren't Boston and Cleveland. But I can see it going either way.
All right. So first, let me be Coach Adams. Coach Adams is going to try to help the audience understand a little bit about basketball from this approach. Indiana plays a unique style of play, and they've played that all year, and they're healthy. So they're going to try to push tempo. The New York Knicks, as constructed, are not the most aesthetically pleasing team to watch. And one of the stats that I talk about, it's a legit stat that I have one of my players on the line with us who will say, Coach always says this, is your degree of difficulty in scoring. So let's look at who the Knicks beat. They beat a young Pistons team in 6 or 7, whatever it was. They beat a Celtics team who we now found out was not healthy. This is not taking away from the win, not at all. But it's not like you beat a murderer's row. So I'm looking at this saying Indiana is, I'm going to say it again, clearly the better team. But everyone likes the Knicks, especially Madison Avenue, because I am sure Adam Silver is chomping at the bit. So Indiana, I'm going to introduce you something called Sugar Ray rules. In 1987, I think it was, Marvin Hagler got robbed in a championship match because you're supposed to take the title from the champion, but everybody liked Sugar Ray and the referees kept it really close, and the officials gave Sugar Ray a decision he did not deserve. And I'm from the DC area. So Will Cotton has joined us, our captain for life. Will, go in any direction you want. Indiana, Knicks. What are you thinking, sir?
Man, I gotta go with my Knicks, man. My father's a Knicks fan. I went to college in New York.
Yes, you did.
They ingrained me in terms of, even when they were losing, man. I have some buddies who have been, crying about the Knicks since for years, man. It's great for them to be out there. And, it's kind of ironic that they're out there to beat a real rival. I mean, historically, they'll have a lot of footage to show when that series starts. Reggie Miller and the all that stuff, and in the late 2000s, things like that. I'm excited, man. I'm gonna go with New York. I think at the end of the day, I think New York just has so much energy going for it. I think money wise, I think NBA would prefer if the Knicks win. I think, no hate to my man. I love the guy Mike King, but Indiana Pacers versus OKC is not gonna move the needle for me. I think Mike will have to watch it and tell me what's going on because I don't know. I'll miss a couple of those ones. But nah, I'm going for the Knicks, man. I think the Knicks are the better team. I think they have a better coach. I think they're destined in terms of this season. I think that nobody, because remember last year they had an amazing season, but everybody was hurt by the time they got to the playoffs. So they were easily, they're weakening. They're weakened. So I think, man, I think the Knicks healthy, winning in six, get a little extra days to get healthy, and they're coming to New York. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Mike, what you got? Indiana or New York, and how many games?
I'm gonna say New York wins because the NBA needs New York in the finals.
It's not a work.
It's the NBA is the most corrupt sporting league outside of boxing. We all know it. Every draft, we can say who's going to win before the draft. If there's anyone worthwhile, it's been that way since I was a kid.
Michael King, we are social studies teachers.
Years. And I've got history for social studies teachers. Started with Ewing. It started with Ewing. Ewing's an old man. It's been going on forever.
Indiana in six. I said it, and no one's going to care. All right, Mike, I will let you go. We've got the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Any thoughts as we begin this series, sir?
I mean, same thing that you could say whoever OKC plays moving forward. OKC's deeper. Minnesota's not as bad as Denver was. They'll be able to put a couple guys in there, including SGA's cousin. And they've got a good big off the bench and Naz Reid. They got 2'6'9" guys with some size, and that's the weakness for OKC is going against, as we saw Jokic this year, Luka last year, the people who can bully them. Now they got Hartenstein, which helps, and apparently Caruso's the giant killer today when he shut down MVP Nikola Jokic, flailing his arms worse than SGA, but no one cares for some reason. Anyway, it's gonna be a good series. Ant scares me. That's the main thing that scares me because Ant takes down stars. If I wasn't an OKC fan, I'd be an Ant fan because he reminds me of Jordan more than anyone since Jordan in terms of his mentality. And that's what I love about Jordan is that mentality. So he's not scared. I mean, he said nice things about SGA early in the year about how he's the MVP or whatever, but he's not scared of SGA. He's going to want to take him down. And it's going to be a fun matchup for the two of them. I think OKC is too deep. And I'd like to see Chet be a little bit more aggressive. In this series, he wasn't able to as much because he was too much worried about guys who were bigger, stronger. Hopefully, he can be that third piece that they need. But I like OKC's chances, but I'm a little nervous just because of Ant.
All right. So, Will Cotton, you have been referred to the last month of the season as I watch Minnesota march all the way to the finals based upon your evaluation of the talent of Julius Randle. So now that Minnesota's in the final, tell me your thoughts on Minnesota OKC because every week I say, man, Will Cotton's got me going against Minnesota. And Minnesota's in the finals. So I got Will Cotton here to defend his evaluation of Julius Randle. The floor is yours, sir.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. If Julius Randle is not scoring 25, 26, 27, it'd be a much tougher series for them. You know, the guy was balling. I mean, he even had a triple double, I think, during the series at some point. But you're going to meet a lot better. You're going to have much harder matchups with him in OKC. You're going to have guys who are a lot quicker as him, who is long as him, who is versatile as him. You know, he's one of those guys where if something goes bad, it starts to continue. It's like a quicksand. You know, it starts getting worse. He'll take bad shots. I think the difference between him and New York now is that he now has a true alpha who will literally be like, "Hey, don't shoot. I'm gonna shoot. Just do something else. I got this." Yeah, I definitely think that Minnesota will definitely match up with OKC. Obviously, they're both young. They have a lot of good 7-footers, got a lot of length. They both got alpha with SGA and Ant. I think at the end of the day, the difference for me is Minnesota plays through Ant, but I feel I think SGA is the nucleus, and they play better more like this, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would like to see OKC, to be honest with you. Give me OKC in six. I think they have that playoff mentality. You know, right now they just punched Nuggets in the face. You know, I think that's great. I love it. Um, I think, and guys are playing well right now, and they're all healthy. So give me OKC in six.
I would like OKC to win because they had a plan, and it's nice when the plan works. One thing bugs me though about OKC, and Will, I'm going to give you an opportunity to reply to this because you lived it. They play too many people. Coach Adams has a rule that he hasn't strayed from ever. 5 to play, 8 to win, 9 if you have foul trouble. And in each round of the playoffs, you subtract one. I want certain guys on the court for a certain amount of minutes, and everybody's got to be cool with that. And if you went that way with OKC, I think you might get some boo-boo faces from the 9th, 10th, 11th, to 12th player. So that does bother me because I don't want to guess who's taking the shot. Everybody in the gym knows where the ball's going. If I've got Jamal Wise, ball going to Jamal Wise, go ahead, stop me. And if 42's on the court, well, it's going through him somehow. He might be a decoy. But I was watching the Denver series, and again, Denver was broke up at the end. You're supposed to win. They got a little callus on their hands, scraped their knees a little bit, so they're battle tested or hard boiled, to use 1920 slang. But it does bother me that this time of year they go a little too deep for YA, and that pauses me. Will, any thoughts to that before we close with Mike King?
Mike King has seen the OKC a lot more than me, 100%. But what I've seen is they love each other. I think they are a really good team, and I think they are willing to say, "Hey, I'll sacrifice minutes because things are going to go well." I think Chet. I mean, think about it. I mean, if you have a guy, let's say this is just an example. Let's say Chet's the guy who's not going to get as many minutes. I think he's cool with that. I think you're going to see him standing up, rah, 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 cheering, clapping, high-fiving guys, doing the handshake that he got. You've seen the commercials. They genuinely like each other. I think they're in to win. Now again, that's only going to last a couple years. That's my money. But I think right now they're buying in with the whole concept of team, family. I don't think it would matter who plays or who doesn't. They're going to see. They knows what it is, and I think they're more comfortable with that more than the Minnesota would be.
Okay, Mike, close us out, sir. Last thoughts on OKC, Minnesota.
Yeah, Will's right. They're not only are they good with each other in the locker room. When someone leaves, gets traded, free agent, whatever, they still support them, and they're like rah rah and all that kind of stuff on social and all that stuff and all that stuff. Today, Jalen Williams, not the all-star Jalen Williams, but the other Jalen Williams, he didn't come into the game until it was over. He's been their Jokic stopper the first 6 games. Then they didn't play him. They went with Caruso, and they put Case and Wallace in, and Caruso and Case and Wallace were plus 40, plus 38, and they took the minutes. No one said a word, and they're good about that. I think they'd be fine. We'll see. I love this team. I've loved this team all year. If they lost in Game 7, I would have been very, very upset because I don't want to see them blow it up and trade 7 guys for Giannis. They in this new era with this basic hard cap they've got, where It's impossible for teams to be. They're trying to make it impossible for teams to be good for a while. Like Boston's going to have to blow it up. Everyone's going to have to blow it up. Thunder do have a way with all these picks and all these things to be good now, keep your guys and fill in the bums with the draft picks. They can keep it going, but not if they lost today, that game 7, because then they would have traded everything for a Giannis or what nonsense. And so I was very happy. This could have been a disaster loss for the franchise. Now we've got a potential dynasty on our hands.
Not just a win, but they whooped them bad.
Them.
I mean, there's not even the GM is not even questioning. He's like, maybe there's none of that. He was done. He was getting a drink by the third quarter. He was ready.
All right. So speaking of losers, the Wizards got the 6th pick in the lottery, and everybody's crying. We'll talk about the draft lottery. We'll be right back on the Out Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA SAFE Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student-athlete success. I believe every student-athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.ckasafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast and segment 2, NBA Draft Lottery Reactions. So I'll start this off by saying, 1, I don't care about bad teams, okay? Take at your own risk. Quit your crying. Be better talent evaluators and no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. You got to do better, all right? And I'm a social studies teacher. There's no such thing as conspiracy theories, right, Mike King?
What do you think about the draft? Teacher, we know that there are conspiracy theories.
So what were your thoughts on the NBA draft, Mike?
It was fixed. I mean, we know that. That's not number one. I was upset because the Thunder needed 2 teams to jump the Sixers, and then the Thunder were going to get the 7th pick in a good draft. And 2 teams jumped the Sixers, but then the Sixers also jumped the Wizards, and as they do. So I was disappointed. That 7th pick would have been nice. We could have traded it for more picks down the road to continue our stockpile. Instead, the league won. They got what they wanted. Flag goes to a big team, and that team could be good next year. The number 2 pick, which is still a good pick, goes to San Antonio, which potentially is your future. But the league needs to do a better job when they're fixing this thing to get a couple of the East teams to be better, because making the Spurs better and making the Mavericks better, the West already is brutal. The East is the joke. Give some of these players to the Wizards. Let the Wizards get somebody. That's not like some 7-foot French guy who's going to be terrible. Just somebody.
Stop that. Well, the draft was not fixed, right?
I don't say it was fixed, but it was definitely cooked up a little bit. I definitely cooked up a little bit. I mean, it's got to be disappointing as a fan outside of the Spurs or the Mavericks. I mean, if you're a team like the Washington Wizards, as a fan, like, how do you get better? Like, how do you really put?
You evaluate talent better.
You can only, but still, you can see. Nobody evaluates for talent and be like, oh, we got this one of a chance. This kid, one generation kind of kid, you know. And we don't. Rarely is it like, okay, we'll trade for him, or he's a UFA, or you know what I'm saying, like that. It's just, but look at it like this. When the Wizards had the number one pick for John Wall, and then a couple years they got Bradley Beal, and then they got Otto Porter, they were in the playoffs. Strong, heavy. Now, management is up to me. I don't make those decisions. But it's very disappointing.
Is Otto Porter even in the league anymore?
His bag still.
And John Wall is like 32. He's young.
$100 million deep. He's good.
Done and finished.
But it's just difficult,
And Phoenix can't get Bradley Beal away for a bag of chips.
But the thing is, the NBA doesn't have to win off parity. Like, NFL gets parity. That's why they win, because guys can win in different ways. And you're like, oh, you might have a random year where the Browns are good or the Titans are good. Traditionally, the bad teams are bad and the good teams are good because a lot of people vote for the Lakers, the Knicks, the Celtics. I wouldn't even say that they don't really vote for OKC just yet. Could happen because now those are the people that are growing up were the Warriors kids growing up, like my kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's disappointing. The Wizards do their best. They'll do the best, but they'll never really get to a point where it's like, okay, now we feel like we're going to make a run on a championship. It's always going to be, let's make the playoffs. Let's not suck this year.
The NBA is already too built around the big markets having advantages. Yeah. That's where the free agents want to go. That they get on TV. That's where people. That it's just
Miami.
It's a league that's built around helping the big markets, and the draft helps the big markets because they always win the lotteries. So that's my problem with it. And you look at the NFL. They don't.
Who should have a lottery, by the way? I'm voting for that.
It would make a fortune, but they don't need a lottery because at the end of the year,
they have 100 rounds.
The Giants beat the Colts and lose a pick. The Patriots won Week 17 and dropped down. Like the teams still try.
Man,
the NBA,
that's another show they can put on for half an hour.
The Jazz stopped trying 6 months ago.
Hard to tank in the NFL. Dangerous, too. Dangerous.
Yeah. The Jazz stopped trying 6 years ago.
Dude, I had.
It's unwatchable.
Harkinen and Collins on fantasy. These Bama's were not playing since after Thanksgiving. They were not playing. I was so upset.
As someone who followed OKC all year and looking at these lineups, I mean, they won 68 games, but 30 of the games where the teams were not even trying. So, then you go into the playoffs and everyone's like, how is this going to Denver? How is it 7 games? Well, because Denver's trying. So, yeah, the Thunder won 68, but how many of those games were against some team playing guys that wouldn't start in the Big Ten?
Okay. All right. So to close, the NBA draft dates, June 15th, NBA early entry window deadline to withdraw. June 25th is the first round of the NBA draft, and they're doing something cool this year. They're doing the second round June 26th. So welcome to extra programming, and I don't have to stay up until midnight draft night. So that's always a good thing. Second round, give a little extra day, probably evaluate some talent, look at some film, Wizards. So anyway, in segment 3, we're going to get you ready for the WNBA season. We'll talk about the controversial flagrant foul as well as teams and players you should watch. We'll be right back on the Yacht Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CKA Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast in segment 3. Before we kind of give you some insight on the WNBA season, something happened opening weekend that caused some ruckus. Mike, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark got into a little tangle up there. Any thoughts on that situation? I'd love to hear what you think about the feud.
It's a hard foul, but it's a foul that happens, I want to say 10 times in an average NBA game, let's say. No free layups, right? Like you're gonna grab someone. Now she gave a little push also. But again, Caitlin Clark took 20 fouls harder than that last year. And every time she took one, she just got up and turned around. So Angel Reese got up, right? What the you doing? All that kind of stuff. And it's great for business. We're talking about it, and Twitter went wild and riled up both fan bases, which is what the WNBA needs. It got more eyes, and it's going to be good. It's stupid, but it's going to be good for the league because it brings eyeballs in. And the bigger story, I think, from the game is just I didn't realize. I mean, Indiana looked a lot better than last year. It was not just a couple pieces. The people they brought in were good.
You mean you scouted talent and tried to mesh it? Wow, yeah, that's a fascinating thing.
They were good.
You played for me. How am I reacting to that? Are we sending the kid after somebody on that foul?
No, it's a good foul. It's a good foul. It's the name of the game. This is your second year in the game. Like, you know what it is. Like, you don't have to be, cautious or tiptoes. Like, man, look, foul. Go ahead, go to the free throw. Very professional. It was a little hard foul because she's a professional. I think, like Mike King says, not much to worry about. Part of the game, but it did do a great thing for social media because people are now blowing it, talking about the WNBA, and people are also showing like. And now I hate when people say this. Oh, I can score 20 in the WNBA. It's soft over here at the WNBA. I'm like, man, those girls be throwing elbows, arms, shoulders, very aggressive. Very physical, and I think that really needs to be shown that, it's not no prissy, very tinky kind of organization. It's a real basketball league, and they are going to get physical. And yeah, you're going to see some people get put on their butt, and some people are going to get pushed. You know what I'm saying? That's just part of the game. And we loved it in the 80s for the NBA, and it pushed a lot of energy for new fans. Guys like, yeah, I love it. Bad Boys Piston. Yeah, man. Like, they can do the same thing. Just stay with it and keep the momentum going. They always kill the momentum.
All right. Coach Adams didn't see the play. Got a lot of buzz on social media. Point 5 said, Dad, did you see the play? And I looked at the play and said, what happened? That's was my reaction was what happened. Was that what everybody got screaming about? And when I said to Will, is that a foul? Did we send the kid after somebody? Yeah, you give a hard foul on Fowler, and we'll do some court justice. That was all right. 2 shots. I don't even know why they made that a flagrant, but if that's what you're making a flagrant, if Coach Adams is there, I'm going to bring that up 58 times in the next 5 games to say flagrant. So sometimes it's best to do nothing, and they did something, and now they're going to have to pay for it. All right, Will, I'm going to go with you, man. Which team's going to win the WNBA finals this year? Who you got? Minnesota, New York, Indiana? What are you thinking?
Oh, man, I'm going with New York. I'm all in with New York, man.
All right, repeat.
Going. Yep, repeat. Consistency going. Vegas, I think they're on their downtrend, so it happens. But I think New York is popping right now. I think the energy around the whole city is fire right now. So I think I'll keep it going. Let's go, Liberty.
Okay. Mike, who's winning the WNBA finals this year?
Minnesota's hungry. It's hard to win twice in a row. I'll go Minnesota.
All right. MVP, Mike, who you got? I know I am going to hear a lot about Nafisa Collier, but she's played a lot of basketball, and I think she's going to hit a wall. But what are you thinking?
I mean, if Indiana is greatly improved and Caitlin Clark is stat padding up to 30, she's in there trying to get a rebound, trying to get another triple double. Hey, I respect it. I wish I bet on it, but I respect it. I could see Caitlin Clark having a chance again because if they go from like a 500 team, take that next step, she's the best player. I'll go Caitlin Clark.
All right. Um, Mike, I'm going to stay with you. Which team do you think made the best moves in the offseason?
I'm gonna go with the Fever. Just we only have the one game to show it, but they brought in veteran leaders who are still putting up numbers. Like they brought in vets who are in year 15, but they're averaging 17 a game from last year. Like that's it's one thing when you just bring in someone to just back in my no, they're bringing in like people who could actually play and they're vets. And they have three back to back first round picks or first overall picks from the previous 2 years who are just going to take the next step. I think they did the best job.
All right, Will, what about you, sir?
I would have to go and say I would probably say Indiana as well. I mean, this is another year with Caitlin Clark. She's healthy going into the second season. She got a good pieces. She caught fire toward the end of last year, which showed that hey, the team is kind of gelling and everything like that, and it just continued into this one. So yeah, I think they're going to be really, really surprising good this year. And by halfway through the season, people will know that okay, they're real. I think they'll surprise the first amount of people like, okay, oh, Indiana is real. Good Lord. And then after that, it's like, okay, they're here for blood.
All right, Will, I'm going to stay with you. Page buckets for rookie of the year or the field? Who you got?
I'm going buckets. You know me. I'm in the fan last 5, 6 years. I ain't getting off the bandwagon now.
All
Buckets for
right.
the rookie.
All right, King, page buckets on the field for rookie of the year.
Uh, like the old days, Tiger of the field, give me Tiger. I'm taking the star. I'll always take the star. If you're making that bet, it's because you know that the field isn't as good.
I don't know
Oh
what's gonna
man,
get shot.
Dominique is good, baby. Dominique is good. FD will say, check out the player in Seattle, but he's not here. All right, so to wrap up, out of anybody, everybody in the league, Will, who's must see TV for you to get you in front of a screen for the WNBA?
It's always gonna be Vegas. Vegas is still the cream of the crop, the pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? They still have the best player, Asia Wilson. They're still a big winning team. I mean, just they won the last two championships back to back. Couldn't go three and go back to back with the third. But it is what it is. But yeah, I still think Asia Wilson, and I think New York is always going to be must see TV. It just is, and they have the talent now to push that. Outside of that, I think people would be interested to see Dallas and Minnesota. I think they're just new young teams. I saw a lot of them play. I forgot the league, but the 3-on-3 full court one.
Yeah, unwrap.
Yeah, they have a lot
Unwrap.
of good talent, man. Tough. Yeah, I think they'll be exciting. So those 14, but give me Vegas, Liberty to leave it all for the teams to watch. I would watch.
Mike, who's must see TV for you?
I mean, if Kelsey Plum's putting up 37, that and
That's
LA
must see TV for hockey.
and it's LA, so I'll go with I'll give Wilson best player, Plum because now she gets to like lead she gets to be the number one option, so that'll be interesting to see what she's doing there. And I'll go Caitlin Clark just because again she plays that Steph Curry style, and we are in a Steph Curry generation, and now the WNBA has someone shooting those dumb 50-foot threes that has taken over the NBA. So it's that is must see TV.
All right, I am going to go in left field. I want to see Seattle play because I want to see Dominique Malinga because my mentee Francois has told me about her for the last few months. So just as much hate as Will has given Julius Randle, he's given that much love to Tom Meeks. So I want to check out the Seattle Storm. So this is good. So on behalf of our Cavalcade of Stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.